So first, I think I'm a sales guy, and I need to first thank because this is the customer support team. We are the market leaders in India overwhelmingly, and the market leadership is due to the great customer support you provide every day. So many times we don't get the opportunity to thank. There is a village which makes HP number one. Most of the time, the sales guys get the credit, right? And you all say, "Wow, we are number one, market share is good," but behind it is a huge operations, support, supply chain, factory. There's so many people, and customer support is a very integral part. And I work very closely with Vikas Singh and his team, in India, and also Biju and the team. Fantastic work done by you in considering the odds we face as managers every time, in also growing revenue and reducing cost and keeping TC right and everything. It's not an easy job. I spent about 5 years of my life in services in the enterprise part of HP, but I can tell you it's a very, very tough business what you guys do, and huge kudos to all of you for doing this. So today I'm going to I've structured my talk. Maybe I'll present for about 30 or 35 minutes, and then we'll open up for Q&A. It's very simple. We talk about four things: why we customer obsessed. Second, you as an individual, what you can do. Third is digital customer centricity, and fourth, HP Inc. as a company. So before I go into this, maybe I'll highlight one or two aspects of my career, which not many people would know. Um, Very early in my life, that is in 2000. I mean, yesterday I completed 25 years in HP, and very early, that is just 3 years after joining, I joined in 97. In 2000 I ran the call centers for Compaq. Okay, that is before the merger with HP. And I can tell you, even at a very young age, younger age I should say, I'm even young now, but at an younger age, I really managed customers and customers in a big way. So that really gave me a lot of grounding. That is one. And a second, I was general manager for technology services business in India. That was undivided HP, and that used to have server, storage, networking, data centers, and all that. That is the real other end of solutioning, doing projects like income tax, excise, customs bureau, Indian railways, Bombay Stock Exchange. And these are all very, very mission critical stuff, right? If the servers don't work in Bombay Stock Exchange or in railway reservation, you'll have cancellations. So there, most of the white hair I got in my body on my head is due to that job. Okay, so the two extremes: one is at the call center, which is actually handling a single customer, and on the other side, handling a mission critical thing like Indian railways or income tax or customs, where your team is responsible for millions of transactions, in an hour. Both I've handled, and I can tell you, uh, every job, taught me a lot. So I'm extremely customer obsessed, and sometimes I really can't sleep well in the night if things go bad. Somehow I calm myself, and then I say, okay, fine, we have to solve it. And Shobha has seen many of this in online store. We have worked together and really done a lot of good work together on this. Okay, why be customer obsessed? I love this statement simply because she pays your salary. Sam Walton said this: there's only one boss, the customer. He can fire everybody in the company, right from the chairman, by simply spending the money somewhere else. This is a very important point. Huh? We are not in a monopoly, right? We are not the only people who make PCs and printers, right? If we don't do a good job, okay, people will just vote with their wallets. They will go to Dell, Lenovo, Canon, Epson, Xerox. These are all not small companies. Huh? These are all very big companies by themselves. And HP has to earn the dollar of sales every day. Okay. So I'll talk later about a concept called silent switchers, which many of our customers do. And if you don't take care of the Golden Annoyers, which is a type of customer, silent switching will happen. And that's very dangerous for customers. So, but remember one thing, it is not HP which pays your salary. HP happens to pay your salary because HP gets the money from our customers. At the end of the day, our company's revenue comes from our customers. So you have to take care of the customers. Very foundation. Second, I love the story. Just take a moment to look at it. There's a lot written here, but I'll summarize that, but just have a look at it. The car that didn't like vanilla ice cream. So there's a very famous story which says that a person was, um, you know, going with his child, uh, and to every weekend to buy ice cream, okay, in a shop. And they just said this: every time I buy a chocolate or a strawberry or any ice cream other than vanilla ice cream, the car will start. Okay. But if we buy a vanilla ice cream, the car doesn't start. That was actually the complaint they told the call center or the support engineer. So, I mean, anybody from outside will think, wow, this is like joke here. How in vanilla ice cream the car doesn't start? Why the car doesn't like vanilla ice cream? But actually, if you go and see that, one engineer took that very seriously, that feedback of the customer. He went to his engineering department and said, this customer said this. I could have dismissed this, but he says, and I also went, I also tried it along with the customer. And actually, when we bought a vanilla ice cream, it didn't happen. It didn't start. When they analyzed it, they actually found out the vanilla ice creams are took a long, I mean, are given immediately in the ice cream counter, that is within 1 minute, whereas strawberry and and chocolate ice creams take maybe 4 or 5 minutes because they have to go in and get. Vanilla is very popular, whereas the other two are not very popular. So what happens is in that car there's something called vapor lock which happens technically engineering wise, and then the car is not able to start if you actually buy a vanilla ice cream. Then General Motors, that is the Pontiac division, General Motors will go and fix that issue. But it started as a very simple feedback from a customer, which almost looked silly, right? Like if you have a vanilla ice cream, the car doesn't start. So the learning point is always respond to your customer complaints. And for me, I was actually showing Shobha yesterday this. My executive escalations in a quarter has come down from 56 in 90 days, means almost two executive escalations a week for the online store, um, which is a lot, which is like people writing to Enrique or Ketan. And in the last quarter, it was two. From 56, it has come down to two, which is like in the entire quarter, only two people complained. They had an issue with the online store. It's not because we're not selling, we are selling a lot now on the online store, but it's just that our processes have improved. But those 56 people who complained to our CEO and MD are the reason why the thing dropped to two. Okay. And that's a very important thing we should remember. When customers, I said this in a very nice way to my team. Uh, you have, so first of all, I love this quote. Saujanya Reddy, our HR head, used to say this: every feedback is a gift. She used to say it from a HR standpoint. Sorry, I'll just put this on white. She used to say this from a HR standpoint. But let me tell you, uh, even from a customer standpoint, every feedback is a gift. Okay, every feedback. Now, how do you take the feedback is a very important thing. You're all frontline people who are talking to customers. Just remember this: you have chai every day. Okay, you have tea every day, right? Some people make very good tea, nice masala chai. I'm drinking today as you're speaking to you. Some people make horrible tea. You don't even feel like drinking it, right? But have you seen some of the best chais are from very, very small dabas on the road? Very small dabas give you very lovely chais. Okay. But have you seen, do they give the chai in major silver china ware? Do they put it in some fine bone china? Is it like some Taj hotel or some hotel where they give all this? No. It is a very ordinary cup in which they give the chai. Okay. But sometimes you go to five-star hotels, you have the cup is very nice, but the chai inside is very bad. Okay. Given the choice, what you will take? You will take a good chai in a bad cup or a bad chai in a good cup. Most of us will prefer to take a good chai. The chai should be good. The cup can be not, maybe it can be a earthen pot also. It need not be some fine bone china. So feedback is like that. Feedback is actually given to you in a bad container. Okay. When they call you, the customer is agitated and giving a lot of feedback to you in a very, the tone is bad. He or she is complaining, the issue is not solved. But what he is giving inside to you is gold. That is the chai, the real chai, which is really good. So I want you to remember this. Don't worry about the cup. Look at the chai. Okay. Ignore all the noise around. Okay. Of what a customer says. Okay. That is okay. That you have to solve. But what is inside the RCA, what we call as RCA, root cause analysis, root cause analysis. That's the most important thing. Okay. So, so you understood why you need to be customer obsessed. Now, you as an individual. Okay. There's a very famous story about three people who are laying bricks in a building, bricks, right? The red bricks, you make the bricks. So one person went and asked, what is your job, to that person? Okay. The first person said, can't you see? Don't disturb me. I'm laying bricks. This is exactly what this person said. The first person. The same job done by the next person. They asked, what is your job? That guy said, can't you see? I'm building a nice wall. Okay. The same job. And the third person, a slightly wiser guy, very quiet. He was also doing this job and he went and asked, what is your job? That guy said, I am playing a part in building one of the nicest temples in this town. He is also laying a brick, but he doesn't say I'm a bricklayer. He doesn't say I'm building a wall. That person says I'm building a monument which will last centuries. Okay. This is a very famous story, and I really learned something from this. All of us do the job, right? But how do you see your job? And somebody said, Nash, you're very passionate, you're very enthusiastic, you do this, that. I take this every day. I work in HP for me is a blessing, right? It's a blessing. I thank God that a company like HP gives me the opportunity to perform, right? I mean, they can have another manager who can do my job, right? If I leave tomorrow, HP will take less than a week. Maybe they already have my replacement ready to get my the person who to do the job. So it's only my privilege that I work in this company. So we should do our best job. That is the way I look at my job. So how do you want to look at your job? Basic technical support. What is your job? If somebody asks, what is your job? I'm doing technical support as HP. That is one way of saying it. Second is I resolve customer issues. The third, I think the most important way is my job is making every customer a HP advocate or a HP loyalist. If somebody talks to me on the phone, however bad the situation is, I will own the case and solve the case to such the extent that guy goes and writes, HP is a great company. I will take care of it so well. If you can do that, you are like the third bricklayer. He is also laying a brick, but he says, I'm building a temple which will outlast. And remember, our company is not a 5-year-old company, 10-year-old company, 20-year-old company, or even a 50-year-old company. We are a 80-year-old company. And we still compete in the technology industries, which has GAFA companies. What is GAFA company? Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, trillion-dollar companies. HP is still relevant. HP is still stock price is $40. We are still doing $60 billion of worth. We are still market leaders in PC and print. Why? It is because of thousands of employees like you, okay, who live and breathe customer obsession every day. Okay, that is the reason why we are what we are after so many years. Okay, this is something you should remember. Anybody can do a job, but to do a job with passion requires a different orientation, requires a service mindset. That's a very important thing. Now, I'll also give you another framework to think about customers. I wrote an article on this on LinkedIn, and after deep thought, I wrote this. This is not some Harvard business article or something. I wrote it because I saw types of customers, and I actually said, okay, let us categorize them and see how the customers behave. The first set of customers, you would have noticed if you just look at all your last transactions for the last 1 year, you just look at all the hundreds of customers you've added, you will put them, you can largely put them in these 4 buckets. The first type of customer is brand lovers. Usually they're about 5% or 10% of the people. If you talk to 100 people, maybe 5 people or 10 people would love your brand so much, they will say HP is best. I love HP. HP's products are good. The service is awesome. and they go and actively talk to friends and family, okay, about HP. Okay, you will see some gamers, I generally see many gamers, they just swoon over HP, because some of the laptops are like blazing performance. So they will go and write. They're all kids, like they're all like 22, 23 years. People like you who are listening to me, who will love the product so much that they will go and say, wow, wow, this is great. You can feel that when they speak. The second is brand neutrals. They are neither happy nor angry. They like a few things, they hate a few things in your brand. They'll buy again as long as you're improving. Okay, you should be better than last year, okay, or last quarter. Okay, as long as they will say things like, yeah, how do you feel about HP? Good product, but delivery is bad. They take too long to give to me, or they are high priced, or their service can be better. They will still like your brand, but they will say something like one or two areas where you have to improve. The third type of customer, the most dangerous, is called silent switchers. They're unhappy with the brand. They have nothing positive to say about it, but you know what? They remain quiet. They don't tell you. They completely leave your brand. They don't tell you anything. It's like a thunderbolt which hit you and you didn't know it hit you. This is what Sam Walton put in the slide. Who pays your salary? Customer pays your salary, because right from the chairman down can be dismissed by a customer who goes and buys in some other brand. Okay, so this person doesn't say anything to you. So how do you know what this person says? For that only, you have to look at the last person, the Golden Annoyers. That guy looks like one bomb will go off today. The way he will talk, he or she will talk. They love the brand. Just remember, the guy is extremely upset with you. Why is he upset with you? Just think of it. Because they had high expectations of your brand. HP, wow, big MNC company, high quality. When you buy a HP product, you generally expect when you put the thing on, the PC will work or the printer will work. There should not be any problem. If they have a problem, they are so upset because they love the brand so much that they are so upset that a brand like HP can fail also. Okay, so they blast us. They write long complaints to leaders. They say, I called your call center, nobody picked up, nobody did this, nobody did that, your products are horrible, HP sucks, all that they write. But behind that is one person who at one point of time had a lot of faith. Why you should treat that person well? Because you didn't give your product for free to him. Okay, it might be a dad who has bought a PC for his daughter who is in 12th standard. Just think of it. And that PC doesn't work. It is his hard-earned money for that father. For you it might be one noisy customer, but for that father, his daughter's laptop is not working is such a big problem for him. He will complain till you solve it, and he has paid the money. Yeah, so he has paid that money, right? So he will feel miserable if the product doesn't work, right? So you have to look at what is that. Okay, somebody might have put 10 months of their salary to buy. Not everybody is blessed to buy a PC like that, by swiping a credit card, right? So who is that person you have to see? I once had a customer, okay, who was complaining a big time and very bad English he was writing, and he was just blasting me. Everybody, one of the people in my team said that English bhi theek nahi hai, it's not nice and all. Then I said, wait, let's see what it is. I found out, I called, I spoke to the customer and I apologized. And then I realized he was actually a tailor, a tailor who has bought a laptop for his daughter who is studying in 10th. And he had so much expectations about HP, and that product failed. It didn't work. I apologized. I felt so bad. And then I managed to get a replacement very quickly, a DOA replacement. And then he was so happy. And, then he became a big friend of us. But I'm just saying, just imagine a tailor buying, he would have spent a lot, to save for that money to get that. So always treat your customers, the Golden Annoyers. There is something they're nice they're saying. Okay, please look at like the chai. Don't look at the cup. Look at the chai. What is inside? Okay, and why you should treat them well? Because they also speak for the silent switchers. The other majority, roughly the brand lovers are about 10%, brand neutrals are about 40%, silent switchers will be about 20%, and the golden annoyers will be 10%. So this 10% speaks for this entire silent switchers also, this 30%. So if you take care of the golden annoyers, you also fix the silent switcher problem. So your brand really goes well. This is a simple trick I'm teaching you. Take care of the customers who complain the most. Okay, you take care of everybody. The other point I say to the team in my call center, I'm sure it is in sales, but also it's in support, is this. You always have the CEO on your side. I jokingly say CEO doesn't mean Enrique Lores here. CEO means capability, empathy, and ownership. First, you should be capable. Okay, you should know engineering, or you should know selling or something to solve the issue. If you think you're not competent, just walk out and then say, this is beyond me. It is going to level 2. It is going to level 3. You escalate. Okay. First, you should have the capability to solve it. Second, you should have a heart. Okay. Which is basically the empathy. There's a beautiful line by one former president which says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. First, this is like, I jokingly say, this is like the STD. We have that code, right? Suppose you have to call Bombay, you have to put 022. If you have to call Bangalore, you have to put 080, which is called the STD code. Okay. You can have the perfect number, the 8-digit number in Bombay or Delhi. But if you don't put the correct code, will it go? You have the same number. Let's assume it's 44556677 is the number. But instead of putting Bangalore code and reaching Bangalore 080, suppose you put 022, will it ring in that house? It will not ring, right? So that STD code is that small connection, and the capability and the knowledge is the actual 8-digit number. Okay, but that first connection you have to have, the Dilka connection. They say Dilka connection. Unless you have the customer connect, okay, which is like the STD code, which is just putting the first 2 digits, then only the 8 numbers comes. Okay, so this is another way to think. Empathy is like that STD code. Okay. And third, please own it. Even if you pass it on to somebody in L3 or L4, there's no harm in making a note of the customer name and phone number and finding after 4-5 days how it went. Did it got closed? And if the customer is happy, you can even call them and ask them, how did it go? Sometimes they'll say it went well. Sometimes they'll say, oh, immediately it got solved. Somebody will say, no, it's still pending. But I'll tell you, it makes a huge difference when you own it. Okay. So you have always the CEO on your side. Okay. Capability also means you have to be trained. You need to constantly study what is happening in engineering. You should know your products well. You should know your technology well. You should know how to diagnose faster. You should know how to fix issues with a very few questions. So all these things will come if you have the capability. Okay. Coming to the next part, digital. This is something which I'm pretty passionate about because the whole world is going digital. Okay. 10 years back, nobody would have used WhatsApp. 5 years back, some would have used. Now, I don't think there's anybody here in this call who has not used a WhatsApp, including my mom, who is 87 years old. She uses a WhatsApp, and including a girl who is maybe 7 years old, they use a WhatsApp. Digital has become a very, it's a thing now. You can't live without it, right? But how does it change industries? Look at this. A lot of people think, if you look at these companies, Netflix, Uber, Apple, Amazon, Airbnb, they are all known as digital companies, right? Many people mistakenly assume that the digital is the reason why they are successful. Netflix, abolished DVD. Earlier, people used to buy and rent DVDs. Netflix abolished it, and people think since it's a streaming video and that's the reason why Netflix made it. No, there are many other people who also made streaming video, but why is Netflix number one? Because the guys who actually gave the DVDs gave ridiculous late fees. Okay, the customer service was bad for the existing people. Okay, limited access and fare control. Kalapila taxis you have seen in Delhi, they used to charge arm and a length. If I have to go from my airport to home, It can be anything from 500 rupees to 5,000 rupees. You could never argue with those people. That what got killed in this Ola and Uber, right? So what has actually happened in all these companies, even Amazon, I compete with Amazon every day, but I also admire them because look at the great customer service they give and the experience they give in their app. It's amazing. Okay. Once again, Apple, we compete, but in the music industry, they revolutionized. You don't have to buy a complete CD to get a song, right? Earlier, people used to buy a CD of 10 songs to buy one song. Airbnb, once again, limited availability and pricing got killed with Airbnb. So being digital is not enough. You should be obsessed about customers. Okay. If you're obsessed about customers, digital just becomes just a tool. Digital is nothing more than a tool. It is just that digital helps you become very customer obsessed. Okay. And remember, these three V's, voice, vernacular, and video, are going to shape the entire digital experience in the future. Okay. 7 or 8 years back, I went to Los Angeles. I listened to one gentleman called Scott Bassford, who has written a beautiful book called The Four. You should read The Four. Basically, it's about the GAFA, the GAFA companies, Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Apple. And he said, voice is the future. I was just wondering in 2015, I think I went, what is this guy saying about voice there? What is voice? Nothing is, maybe it's only an America thing and it's not going to happen in India. And I had that aha moment in 2018 when Alexa came to my house and my daughter, all of 17 years, was talking to Alexa as if like you're talking to her friend. Alexa, can you play me this? Alexa, can you do this? Alexa, can you find what is the time? Alexa, can you set a alarm timer for half an hour for me? She used to do everything on Alexa. Then it hit me, wow, that guy was so right. He saw that before we all saw, right? And you will see that increasingly there will be something called conversational commerce. People are going to converse. If you go to many websites now, the voice APIs are being developed, but people are going to converse and buy things. Okay. And second is vernacular, right? The reason why China beats India in both PC penetration and in e-commerce is because in China, majority of the people, not majority, almost everybody uses the operating system of Windows in Chinese. Okay, they don't use in English. And also the commerce, all their platforms in Chinese. Now tell me, how many of us use a Hindi operating system or a Tamil operating system or a Bengali operating system? Very few people. We don't even know that Windows actually has all that, but we don't use. But and same with commerce, right? E-commerce, we don't use that, right? But if you actually see, we have actually made knowledge of English a very important thing because of our diversity of our company, of our country. Knowledge of English is not the reason why somebody should use a PC or buy e-commerce. I'm just telling you an example. India is going to go through this huge change where a lot of things will go into vernacular. And third, people watch videos more than photos now, and people watch a 1 minute video on your product is better than 10 photos or 5 pages of writing on it. Just a 1 minute video. And do you know something? I've already created 100 1-minute videos on my product for my online store. 100 1-minute video. If you want to know about this web camera, or you want to know about this headset, or if you want to know about the Spectre PC or the computer, I already taken the initiative and I told start recording, guys, because in the future, okay, and we have already recorded it. It is just that it's in English. I want to put maybe Bengali, Tamil, Hindi, Telugu, Kannada subtitles for it. Okay, but this is going to go in a big way. 3 V's. Okay, remember this. And why it's important, you are in the call center. Whatever chatbots, whatever you use, that is good, that is digital, but at the end of the day, they are going to talk to you. And when they talk to you, their most voice is important, vernacular is important. And if you can come on a webcam and actually show how the things can be solved, you will have better customer satisfaction. Moving to the last part of my presentation, where I want to talk about what HP is doing as a company, to be customer obsessed. First, I think it's the culture. Okay, I love this statement by Dave Packard, our founder. To remain static is to lose ground. Never rest on your laurels. Compete with yourself to be better. So I have to tell you this. I was a product manager for HP printer products, and PC products. PC products I was, and I remember one meeting where a gentleman from the R&D, the global R&D came. I think the product at the time was HP 2400 printer or something, which was one of the fastest selling printers in the world. Okay. And we faced tremendous competition from Canon, Bubblejet, and Epson, and all these things. Okay, so what he did was he took the printer in his hand, put it up, and looked at all the product managers who have come from all over the globe. It was a global product conference where this guy put it up in the hand. I was the India product manager. They showed it and asked this question: tell me, who is the biggest competitor for this product, HP DeskJet 2400? This is the question he asked. So everybody, we all wanted to show off our product skills, market skills, and we said the biggest competitor is Canon Bubblejet, this model. Or he said, no, that's wrong. Then somebody said it is Xerox, it's Brother, it is Epson. So they were giving all the competitor names. Okay. He just said, no, 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 wrong answer, wrong answer, wrong answer. And he said, the right answer is, he takes another HP printer from his hand and he says, this is 2500, the next generation of 2400. It has got more features than 2400 and it is lower priced. Just imagine this. It was a eureka moment for me. So this guy is saying, I'm taking the most successful product of yesterday or the last quarter and killing it with another product which is from my own company. You know how much courage you need to do that. There are many companies who will just sort of sit and be very happy with market leadership in, we have 60% market share in printers and we make the best printers. Why change? Why change? Correct? But this guy said, I'm making a product which is faster, better, cheaper, and it's going to kill my previous product. That day I realized HP is the company I should work for forever. And that's the reason why I'm still in this place, because you should be so customer obsessed. Okay. You should not care about competition. Competition is actually incidental. If you're customer obsessed and if you always compete with yourself to be better, done. That's it. You don't need anything more. Okay. You don't have to compare yourself with anybody. Okay. And that's the approach you should take. The other point is closer home. I'm very proud to say that, we won the Customer Obsession Award. The award is called Customer Obsession Award. Okay. And HP is the only company in the last 3 years. This is across industries. You have globally benchmark companies like Procter & Gamble or Amex, or, you can think of HDFC Bank or Maruti Suzuki. You can think of any company. HP competed with all these companies and CII gave this award and said, HP is the most customer obsessed company. And at the time, Rahul Malik from the support team put this together, and the earlier year, Neeraj Gupta put it. They work with leaders like us in the India LT, and the CII assessment is not easy, guys. It is over 3 days, and the people who assess you across 20 different parameters: how you do e-commerce, how you do sales support, how you do finance, how you do HR, how you do marketing. They assess you completely and they see, are we customer obsessed everywhere? And the people who judge you are themselves CEO level people, general managers, CEO level people. Like I had somebody who was a division head of Tata Group who came and judged. He's a good friend of mine, but he judged me, my e-commerce capabilities. And when we got this award, Ketan sent this out to everybody saying, we are the only company who got it. And this is in the YouTube link. In 3 years, we're the only company to get it. Nobody else has got it. The most coveted title. I felt so good that, our company has beaten not just IT industry competitors, but also competitors from the automobile industry and FMCG industry and everything. So you should be very proud to work for a company which is so customer obsessed. I also feel this is a very important thing. The right org chart in our company is this: customers is the boss for all of us. Then comes all of you. who is the frontline customer facing team. Okay. And then comes a manager or a line of business leader. And finally, people like us who are a part of leadership team, come, So I would say somebody like Biju Pillai or Satish Bedapur or me, we are not talking to customers every day, we are so far away, but all of you literally talk to customers. So if our company is focused this way, okay, my job or maybe Biju's job or Satish's job is to ensure that you are well supported through the managers, okay, and you are really taken care of. If you can do that, we are done. What more do you want? This is a slightly complex slide, but I wanted to show you how in the online store about 30 different things affect the customer experience. Okay. Do you know in an online store, I'm not going to go through the 30, but I'm just showing you, right from pre-purchase, purchase, order to delivery, and post-purchase. In online store, you have to take care of the website, you have to take care of the call center, and also you have to take care of the supply chain and logistics, right? I'll give you a simple example. If a site if a website takes more than 5 seconds to load on your smartphone, it's a bad experience. About 4 years back, I was okay with 10 seconds. About 3 years back, it was 8 seconds. Now somebody told Nash it's already 4 seconds. Can you imagine? For me, the moment they open my website or my online store it should be mobile friendly and it should load fast. If it doesn't load fast, if what is called FCP, first content paint, if the first content paint doesn't happen in 4 seconds, you lost your customer there itself. That is just the starting point of the online journey. I have 100 other things to do. I have 200 SKUs of computers, personal computers, which is like home computers. I have 50 printers. I have printers starting from 3,000 rupees to 3 lakh rupees. I have laptop starting from 20,000 going up to 5 lakh rupees. How do I make my customers, how do I talk to them about all this? So, and then right up to dead on arrival, when something goes wrong, the product fails, as I told the Taylor story, if it doesn't work, he's going to beat me. He doesn't know who's support. He's bought it from me. He'll beat me first before he even comes to you, right? So how do you manage this? I'll just give you one example. You need to be customer obsessed in every one of those 30 elements, what I put on the previous slide. I'm just going to show you one element, which is merchandising, which is 5 and 6, where you help a customer choose the right brand and make a used case based differentiation. Okay. So let's assume somebody wants to buy a laptop. Somebody wants to buy a laptop.
Sorry, Nash. Can I please ask all the audience to mute their mics? Thank you.
So if somebody wants to buy a laptop, there are 3 levels in which you can train them. One is a very simple one. Give the options to the customer. Say how much RAM you need. I want an i5 8 GB, 512 GB RAM with 14-inch. So many people buy like that. So that is one way. You configure the laptop. You say this is the spec I need. This is the form factor I need. This is the screen I need, or this is the processor I need, and do it. This is basic. Every web store should do. The second is you actually go and tell customers, if you are a student, okay, if you're not a student, let's assume you're a writer, you only write, you use word processing all the time. You don't need anything more than 4 GB. You don't need to buy 16 GB. Okay, 4 GB is enough for you. Okay, but however, if you're doing CAD CAM, you need 16 GB. So you actually teach, you actually advise customers what is size, what is weight. Many people don't know the compromise between weight and battery performance. So we teach them. We say that if you really need 10 hours of battery, the laptop will be big. But if you need extremely lightweight, even with 3 hours, you can do it because you're on a plane and you just need to charge for 3 hours and work. So we have to teach them. That is the second thing. I strongly advise you to go and have a look at these links on my website. I spent a lot of time to make this. But what is customer obsessed? You take one category of people called students. Okay. And you show them right from LKG. to PhD, right from LKG to PhD. I'm just going to show you this. I know I'm going slightly out, just a minute, but I wanted to show you, if you can see my screen.
Yes,
Right
Nash.
from primary school, there's a small girl, primary school to elementary school to high school. I'm giving everywhere what to buy. If you're studying higher education, if you're doing special university, if you're doing CAD CAM, if you're doing engineering, if you're doing programming, if you're doing Python, what is the best laptop to buy? It is different from a student who is in 5th standard, right? If you're doing video and music production, if you're doing graphic design, and see how customer obsessed I am to make this. Okay, I'm just giving an example. I have to do this because if I do this, the person who you actually does architecture in a Bangalore college or in a Delhi college will know this is the product I need to buy if I have to do architecture or if I'm doing CAD CAM. Okay, so that is what I did. And that is an example of being customer obsessed and merchandising. My last slide. Remember this. This is the last slide. When the customer comes first, the customer will last. Remember this. You take care of first of the customer, he or she will last forever. So that's it, guys. And let's open up for Q&A. 298. Wow.